WhatsApp.
Yeah, I think WhatsApp.
Actually, that doctor from to me when remember before we went into the temple, who I was doing the translator app with.
Yeah, but some of them hack around it.
Yeah, I mean he's living outside of China. He's living in Cambodia too.
Because I have a friend in Chengdu and she's hacking around somehow, but not really.
Okay. So very good morning.
Good morning.
And we are going to start at Sosday, Arun Sosday. Sosday. Can you? Yeah. Okay. And today's orientation session, and I want to share what we are going to do for these few days, and I will share what is meditation basically from Buddhist perspective. Okay? Can you hear? And this afternoon I will try my best to share mental health because it is interconnected with the meditation, and maybe day after tomorrow, maybe about the parenting styles. Welcome. So, meditation. And before we start, why bother? Why we need meditation? That is the question. Regardless of the nationalities or religion or wherever you are, we have the same mind. So anger, it's common, it's universal. No matter you are African or American or Cambodian, you suffer from the anger of we call it. And there are many. I don't want to use the word mental illnesses. I don't know, like some people say depression, anxiety. That's the nature of the mind. It's the nature of the mind. When you don't spend enough time to take care of your own mind, you will suffer from different, I would call it mental disturbances, rather than labelize them as illnesses. Okay? So, you can ask yourself why you need your physical health. Why you need that? Namaskar kanana. Nana. Uno vena?
Kanana khang bu thom mo kana chiu pet kana chok ban mo chok ban pheu bum phang ba yo ta yom rien ko tho.
Mun.
Kana ne bot cha bu thom kan ko.
Kana. Mun jang.
Kana throp từ Indiaជាមួយគ្រូតាមមុនសាយទៅkanaទៅមកលើសាថានេះkanaឈឺទៅសំមិញទៅបានពីយប់នេះសាយបានទៅវិញខ្ញុំបិណ្ឌបិណ្ឌ
ណាសាធុទៅមុនថាhe know me through Facebook, I think. Yeah. Because I give different talk in English, and he went to Sri Lanka, I think. And okay, so what was the question?
Why meditate?
Physical health. Yeah, you want to stay healthy, and for what? Because
to feel better.
Yeah, to feel better and
live longer.
Take care of body.
Yeah, basically you don't want to get sick, easily or quickly. And to take care of your physical health, not only you, even monks and Buddhists spend times and thousands of money to take care of themselves. They eat a good food, organic, less chemical, and less sugar, less cholesterol. And there are many physical exercises that maintain your physical health. There's Zumba, I think, and yoga, and there are different kinds of exercises to keep this body healthy, and yeah, everything. But most of us forget, the importance and the significance of the mental health. And we learn from the Western science, because I read my first degree in psychology, so I know the significance of or benefits of mental health. You know how the correlation between the brain, your heart, and the mental health, how stress impacts your brain and your heart. So, and even WHO, the World Health Organization, they come to the conclusion that mental health is needed, and there is kinds of researchers have done predicting that within 20 years or 30 years, the depression is the biggest or the most dangerous illnesses in the world. So from Buddhist perspective, people are stressed because of too much work or something else. What is your opinions? Why we are stressed, or why we are depressed, or why we are so much, frustrated or anxious? Why?
Are you talking about in our country or?
I mean, in general. Yeah, from your experiences.
Not having time to pause, always busy.
Yeah.
Inability to let things go.
Correct.
Lack of community.
Yeah, like social relationship to support. Yeah. From Buddhist perspective, we get anger, we get frustrated, we get depressed. It's not because of too much work to be done, but the inability to deal with your own thoughts and emotions. And the technical term in Western science is, I think, not IQ but EQ.
Yeah.
EQ or emotion intelligence. So this is the most important thing we have to remember. And you might have questioned why we need the mental health. Why we need that? Why we need to be mentally stronger, or to be happy, or mentally healthier? Because you can do your own investigation about your own life. You can study by your own self. 24 hours a day, how much of time I can remain happy? How can I manage my own thoughts and emotions when I'm alone? It is very important. When you are alone, you need the capacity and ability to manage your own thoughts and emotions. Because Buddha said, when there is no mindfulness, whatever you think, most of the thoughts you have are illusional or are imaginative. That is why there is a quote: most of us suffer in imagination, not in reality. So that is why we need mental health. And to stay mentally stronger, when you have a good mental health, it impacts your physical health. It impacts, there are many studies have done cancer and stress, cancer and depression, different stuff have been done. And when you can manage your own thoughts, one thing is, because some people are very greedy of food. They want to eat. That is in psychology you call it eating disorder. This is we call it disorder, but this is the inability, you know, to satisfy yourself and to control your own thoughts and emotion. I mean, you want more. So when you have a good mental health, you can manage your own thoughts and your life become better, and you can check because YouTube is very common, and you can access, you can check brain and meditation, mental health, and your and cardio what?
Cardiovascular.
How to call it?
Cardiovascular.
Cardiovascular disease. So that is why we need mental health. And the purpose of meditation is to change your, I call it, mental habitual responses. Mental habitual responses. So change the way we respond to different circumstances in life or different situation in life. Change the way you look at them, change the way you interpret them, change the way you see them. So another technical term I use, it is I coined the term like inner transformation of inner interpretation system. Yeah. Transformation of inner interpretation systems. It is clear. Transformation. So let me tell you a story. There was a monastery in the forest, and there is a small man and his chief man, we call abbot, and another old man taking care of the temple. And one day the small man was crying, novice, we call novice, yeah. He was crying so badly and holding the cat, and saying to the cat, "You are very naughty. I have provided you, meals, and I ask you not to eat, to catch the rat. Why you caught the rat? So you keep crying." And in the meanwhile, there is a man, the old man, coming and jumping, screaming. He was very happy. You know why? Because the cat did the job for him. He's the one who cleans the kitchen. And the chief man sitting beside, and he said, "Dear son," he called the small man, "let the cat do his own job. You do your job." Okay? So what I want to explain you is the same incident. What is the incident? What is the incident? Yeah, the cat catch the rats. So it impacts differently in different ways. One person is crying because he have compassion and kindness to the cat, and another one is happy, and the bird just let it go. So what I want to explain is, it is because of the way we look at the incident. It's the way. It depends on the way we interpret the situation. So similarly, bad things, good things happen in life, and every one of us have to encounter and confront different chaos or crisis. I mean, we have to face. Even monks. That is why we call suffering of monks. Yeah, because we haven't reached yet the ultimate blissfulness. So, but on the way to the enlightenment, you can remain happier if you can change the way you think. And that is why in Buddhism we said you are the one who is responsible for your own sadness and your own happiness. It doesn't mean that the external, forces or society is not responsible for our happiness. They are responsible, but we are not too dependent on them. It's about like there is a wife and husband. If we are too much dependent on the partner, and I'm saying that because there is I call it I am happy when you are around me. It means we are too dependent. I am happy when you are around me, but we would rather say I am happy when I see your happiness. So what I want to say, when we are mentally stronger and when we are happy, our partner will be happy, because we call it, it's not selfish, but we call it self-love. You have to love yourself first. So loving here is not about selfishness, it's about how to be happy by your own self rather than depending on others. So when you have the light, when you have the light, it can be torch. So when it is always with you, you can light the darkness of others. It's because people keep expecting, from the outside, but we never create our own torch, our own light. That is why in our philosophy, the true happiness is not to be found, but to be created, and we are the one who is responsible for that. We are the one, and before the God or whoever help us, we have to help ourselves first. And I like this quote, fix your mind, fix your problems. So this is the benefits of meditation. Before you fix any problems in life, you have to fix your mind. And why? You can ask yourself why. Because when you are obsessed of anger, sadness, frustration, depression or anxiety or fear, your mind is not that clear to look at any kinds of situation you are facing. It's not that clear. That is why I think that don't decide when you are too angry. Just too angry, like too much, always it results in too much suffering. That is why fix the mind, fix your problem. Like when you solve the problem with kindness, it results in kindness. When you solve it with anger, it will end up with anger. Yeah. So this is the basic philosophy. That is why we need mental health. Because to be honest, most of the time, like we might have, husband, sons, daughters, friends, even monks or fathers or sisters, but no one will share. You remember, no one will honestly share your sadness. They might console you, okay, don't sad, I am with you, but to be honest, no one can share with you, and no one can share, to be honest, your sickness. No one can share. Even you have husband, okay, I will be around you. Yes, exactly. This is the kindness. We need that. We need that support. But to be honest, no one can share your sadness, your anxiety, your sickness. You are the one. That is why the mental health is being prioritized. You need that mental health to stay mentally stronger alone, even you are alone, even when you are sick. That is the importance of meditation. So meditation is the English translation, and I think, what is the definition of meditation? mean not from Buddhism, but from the English. I checked the Oxford. It says, what is the translation of meditation? Not translate, definition. Yes, check Google.
Medi is to care.
Meditation is
Listen inside.
to focus, concentrate your mind on a particular subject for a long period of time. I think.
I think that sounds
Yeah.
meta. To engage in contemplation or reflection,
Correct. Yeah. Concentration and reflection.
to engage in mental exercise for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness.
So, and this is the translation from the Pali term, and I think even Tibetan use the same term. The Sanskrit or in Pali we use bhavana. Okay, bhavana is the word.
That's Sanskrit for meditation.
Yes, it's the Pali term and Sanskrit. Sanskrit,
Yeah.
correct? Sanskrit.
Close enough.
Bhavana.
You don't say Vayana.
Bhavana. But it's real, yeah, real. It's we are struggling to differentiate between the W and V.
Okay.
So bhavana.
Bhavana. Bhavana. Okay.
So Nana maskar na.
Ay mun mo bigat.
Mau
India
you
na khơi muốn cái nào
Nana
muốn
langka na.
là cả khi một bồn cả muốn khi gì thì sao phải bộ prai
Nana pakai langka.
cái nào cũng sơ cũng xong thứ này
Na satu.
là tăng vì chạy phèm mà to lớn đi là toàn sắc cái nó cùi à
Satu.
yên tăng bị tầm mẹ cùi xong lên bị tầm mẹ
Nana.
yên bị tầm mẹ
Bài
bài sao xong mẹ con bài
Okay, what we discussed? Bhavana.
Yeah.
So the meaning of bhavana is there are two words: cultivation and development. Yeah. Cultivation and development. Okay, so another question is what we cultivate and develop during meditation. This is the question. We cultivate and develop positive thoughts during meditation. Thoughts. Yeah. Okay, it's clear? This meditation, and you will figure out when I let you to practice. For example, when you walk, I ask you to walk slowly, carefully, mindfully. So first step is you are developing the mind, the concentration, because you are asked to focus on the sensation, the touching sensation between your feet and the floor. When your feet touches the floor, we call it touching sensation. So you have to be aware and you have to focus on it. So you are developing concentration and mindfulness. And walking slowly, I told you yesterday, you are developing tolerance, or patience. Okay, how patience is very important. So that is we call meditation in Buddhism. what we cultivate, we are cultivating positivities, happiness, compassion, kindness, tolerance, mindfulness, concentration, good effort. We are developing these mental, I use it, mental abilities, during meditation. So when we have more of that positive thoughts, you are able to change the mental habitual responses. You are training yourself how to respond when you are walking slowly, because different thoughts will come saying to you, why are you doing? Why you are walking so slowly? No, you have to walk very fast. You train your mind not to obey whatever your mind say. Like, it's your mind, but because in Christianity you have God, goddess, or angel, or demon. So similarly in our mind there are two parts, positive and negative. So if we are too much angry, it means that we have more negativities. The way we look at life is a little bit negative. So this is why I call it, we are developing and cultivating positivities during meditation. So even Mahayana or Vajrayana or Theravada, this is the focus, cultivating, developing positivities. Okay, it is clear. So any questions so far about what I have explained? Because I have to move, because before practicing I want you to understand. So right view, right understanding results in right practice. That is why. Okay? You have any question? No?
Very well described.
Thank you. Yeah? You can have any comments, it's okay. Yeah, yes. It's good.
Theoretically, I can understand,
Mm-hmm.
but applying it in situations that are unpleasant, stressful, conflicted.
Okay. You will read that state when we practice. Okay? I know. Theoretically you understand, but this is the question, how you apply it when you get angry. It's about like this, first we have to learn how to cultivate that. This is the mental ability, so it will help you. It's kinds of, okay, theoretically the doctor will explain you, how to call it, paracetamol. Yeah, it has this. Whatever medicine you take, but its function, can be recognized by only your physical reaction. It's clear. So you have to put them into the practice, then you will understand. Otherwise, it's really hard, because from the theory, everyone finds it hard, because we have been used to respond in that way. When I ask you to change the way you respond to life situation, you might find it hard because you are not familiar with that. But you will learn after following 2 or 3 sessions of walking meditation and breathing exercise. Okay, you will learn, and it's easy to
Like mental medication.
correct. So you have the book, not the bring, eh? The mindfulness in.
Left it, yes.
It's okay. The book. Just to share with you because there are many meditation technique in the world. So what meditation isn't? First, you can go back and read again. Page 13. Meditation is just a relaxation technique. So this is the misconception about meditation. Meditation is just a relaxation technique. It is a relation technique, but it is not just a relation technique. So it teaches you, I told you, how to interpret whatever you are experiencing in life. Change the way you think. It's not just relaxing, not just lying down and having fun. No, you are changing the way you think, because your habits, the mental habits which cause the sadness and anxiety because of the way you think. That is why we have to change that. If you want to be happy, you have to change that. So the change is within. Okay? And second one is meditation means going into a trance. Yeah? It's not about that, meditation. There are meditation techniques, I know, Hinduism, there are, but we teach is not about that. This is the word. You are not trying to black out your mind or blank your mind. You try to cultivate the mindfulness, to aware of whatever going in your mind. Because trance is a technique to kinds of suppress or repression. Repression is not recommended in Buddhist meditation. Understanding and mindfulness and awareness is the result of practicing meditation. Because repression and suppression, it's temporary. We call it happiness. It's not long-term happiness. That is why meditation is not going into a trance. Another one is meditation is a mysterious practice which cannot be understood. It's misunderstood. Like, it is the misconception. No. Meditation is not mysterious because why? Whatever you are looking at is yourself, not someone else. You are looking at your own mind and your own physical functions. You are looking at yourself. So by looking at yourself, you will understand who you are. Why I am sad. When I am sad. So you are your own therapist, your own scientist, your own psychologist, investigating your own self, your own mind. It's clear? Okay, and the purpose of meditation is to be a psychic Superman. No. You are not supposed to and trained to be a psychic Superman or have psychic power to read other mind, but we would suggest you have to read your own mind. Yeah. Okay, so you can go to the book. It is in.
I don't know about this book.
Do you have email? I can email you. You can go. You can download from the.
Okay.
I have a copy that I bought.
You have in the library here?
No, she has.
I have a copy.
You have the copy.
What
I
chapter
read
is
the
that?
book.
What?
Chapter 2.
The two.
Okay.
Yeah. You can Google. Then you can download. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You give me the name and then I can download it.
Yeah, you can, because I also did the same.
So iBooks, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Page 9. Let me read this. Okay. And so the purpose of practicing Buddhist meditation is to understand the reality. Is the purpose to gain the wisdom, to gain the mindfulness and concentration, that all the mental abilities have to be together to understand your own mind. So yesterday we were discussing about little bit suffering and impermanence. Let me say this. This we call it three signatas. It is the English translation, but you can say three universal law or three characteristics. One is impermanent, suffering, non-self. So let me say this. They are the common characteristics of conditioned elements in the world. They are common characteristics. So these are the philosophy we have to understand, we have to accept. So after by accepting, you will feel less sad because everything keep changing. This is the universal law. You have to accept, because not even the West, even some Buddhists, they can't accept whatever life gives you. We learn to accept. So by understanding the universal law, everything is impermanent, keep changing, everything is just suffering. It is just suffering. So by saying it is suffering, it doesn't mean that I pessimistic. It's not about pessimistic. It's realistically optimistic. You just see it as the way it is. So the reality is suffering. Suffering in the sense is not about positive, negative. Let me read this. It is in page number 9 in the book. Okay. Suffering is a big word in Buddhist thought. It is a key term. It should be thoroughly understood. The Pali word is dukkha. Okay. It does not just mean the agony of the body. It means the deep, subtle sense of unsatisfactoriness, which is a part of every mental treadmill. So it's a we don't feel enough all the time. And another mental habit is if only. It is in the book. If only I have this. If only I have that. If only you are with me. So it's about that requesting. But it doesn't mean that you are not supposed to request. You have to. But I'm saying that when it is not supposed to do that, you don't keep asking for, because it makes you suffer. That is why there is another quote from English. I think you have ever heard that. And as you said, it's really hard, but if you practice, because everything is mine. I forgive him or I forgive her, not because he or she deserve my forgiveness, but I deserve the peace. You deserve the peace. So if you deserve the peace, you have to create the peace by yourself. Because when you are asking, okay, please come and say sorry, I don't like him, we keep creating thousands of thoughts within ourselves when we are alone. Because of that, if only I will be happy if only he come and say sorry. If he say no, what to do? Should we keep suffering? No. That's why they change the way we look at the situation in life. Because everyone, they don't come and just say sorry, no. Because people have their own, pride.
I have one comment. I'm just thought about that man, Donald Trump, 45. And I was just thinking, we get very upset about, what he does, what the news says, and angry about it. But he's never going to apologize. He's never going to. So it's best to just sort of just not deal with it.
accept.
This,
That's
yeah,
what it is.
correct.
Accept.
Yeah,
You know,
accept.
accept.
Yeah, this mental habit is used to manage your emotion when something is out of your control, when you cannot control it.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you use it always. You use it when it is out of your control. For example, to be honest, can you control the darkness or night and day? You cannot. Or I want only the sun rise. I want only the sunrise. No, you cannot say that. I want only the rain. No, you cannot say that. So, to be honest, the weather and the natural disaster, it is out of our control. It's really hard to control. So, and simply to be honest, even some physical illnesses, fever, when some people, they get sick, they blame themselves. No, you're not supposed to do that. You have to accept. Sickness is common, it's universal, it's for everyone. So that is why we need this mental habit to manage our emotion when something is out of our control. You know why? Because being worried just wastes our time. What I said, when you are happy, you can change the situation, you can change that person. But just being worried, no, you suffer yourself and you suffer everyone around you. That is why we have to change the way we think, because that's why I told you, fix your mind, fix your problems. Okay? Yeah?
Just thinking about what you just said, I feel a bit of a concern that we would become passive in the face of
Okay, yeah.
45 for one thing, but other things that are dreadful, truly.
I cannot get it. I cannot hear.
Yeah, that we would become passive in things, in dealing with things that we can't control. I know you're not saying be passive, but there is that side effect.
Yeah. Okay, it's not. Yeah. Very thank you very much for reminding. It's not about passive. It's about active, but active in a positive way. It doesn't mean that you have to surrender. You are active, but active in a positive way. Yeah. Meditation is about active.
Or it could seem as though you don't care. If you're here and I'm fine and I'm going to be at peace and someone else is suffering, it can appear as though you're not caring. Or that it doesn't that doesn't matter to you if you.
It seems, yeah, correct. It seems that you might feel that it seems like you don't care, or I just selfish. I am selfish. It's not about that. It's active. Like, for example, if there is a wife and husband, the wife is crying because of something, and husband also got blamed by the boss at the same time. So they had an argument a little bit because they are in little bit depression. So if one of them stay silent and little bit control their emotion, and now he's very mentally strong, the husband, he can console his wife. But if he say, now I am sad, now you are sad, I want you to come and console me, so who will do the job? It's about active, but active in a positive way. If you are being sad and being worried, you cannot you cannot solve the issue or whatever in life you are facing or circumstances. That is why it's active, but in a positive way. Even in meditation, we say merely observing without reaction. So without reaction here mean react in a negative way, but you react in a positive way. Positive means I accept it, what to do. Then it doesn't mean that you stop doing it, you move forward. So the good example is I give stew Steve Jobs, his name, yeah, the iPhone pioneer.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, it's his story. What I want to say is change the way you think. He was kick off of the company, the iPhone company, and then he started another company next. So, and he was a little bit frustrated, but he didn't stop, continue what he want to do. So if we blame, keeping worrying, sad, frustrated, what to do, what now I can do, he now, like, you are keep worrying and you're doing something against that company, nothing will happen. I mean, I'm talking about you are active, but you change the way to react. I mean, it's, as you said, it's really hard, but it is not normal thing. But if you want to be happy, you have to change. Because normally, let me say this, it is like we are swimming upward. It's not downward. It's not, most of the people are swimming downward. We are swimming upward. So a little bit harder. Upstream. Upstream. So, and another good story is Jack Ma. I mean, he was rejected by the Oxford, Harvard, and different, KFC. But he thought that I was rejected because I will got bigger opportunity than this. So it's about changing your mind. So active, correct. Active but in positive way. There is a good quote. Let me say this. Okay, the more you focus on the mistakes or deficit or flaw, the more suffering you will experience. But the more you focus on the solution or the positive part of the problem, the more the more opportunity you will have. So it's about opportunity, it's active, but in a positive way. It's not be active or passive. I know that. That's why you have to make it clear before we practice. It is clear. You can read this more. I know to be honest with you, I know it's hard because we have been used, even me, before I start practicing, we have been, our mind has been used or stick to something. When we try to change it, a little bit hard, because we want this, we want that, but when you change, no, you have to control yourself. So you might find it's harder. It's really hard. But if you don't do that, like we will, that even you have husband, sometimes you have enough money, or sometimes you have everything, but sometimes why we still feel that, like lack of something and sad, and sometimes we're sitting alone, we are crying and thinking, alone, and no one is around us, and for example, the past story keep haunting you, So if you change your mental habit to react that past, you become happier. It depends on you. It's your choice. You make, because happiness is a choice. You want to remain in that past. When you reminding them, you want to be sad, or you want to get rid of it. It depends on you. Yeah, because the past and the future. That is why mental health is very important. It's clear? Yeah. Simply, I use the word keep smiling, whatever happen in life. Keep smiling. Keep smiling.
What did you say next? No.
Whatever happens in your life.
Whatever happens in my life.
Yeah. So it's
After you cry first.
Yeah.
Then you have to cry first.
Yeah.
Maybe after the election.
Sorry?
No, we can't wait.
So that is like, and what to do if you want to be happy? It's a choice, as I told you. If you want to be happy, You have to change the way you think.
It's like Buddha's noble truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
noble truth. Yeah. So this is the reality. Just accept the reality and move forward. It doesn't mean accepting the reality and remain in that. Like suffering, oh I am suffering. No, it's not about that. You have to find a way to get rid of that. You know, everything is impermanent, everything is suffering, it's non-self. By understanding, you have to find a way to get rid of that if you want to be happy. Okay. Okay. So any questions so far? And what's the time now? Okay. Yeah. Now we can practice. But before practice, I will remind you during the practice. Any questions? No questions?
Are you going to discuss the practice?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Okay. This, page number 26, the same book.
What chapter again?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. I have it on audiobook, so I have it by chapters.
You have audio, yeah?
Yeah.
Twenty-six, yeah? 6. My pronunciation,
No,
26.
it's good. I just didn't.
Must say louder, okay? I will say louder. Okay. So, first thing I would like to remind you is you have to convince yourself whatever you do is for yourself. To be honest, we have to be very honest with ourselves. Have we ever, cry or sad alone, sitting in a room, despite we have husband, kids, everyone around us? Or sometimes we keep thinking and sad, or so this training is for yourself. I told you, it is for yourself. No one can share our sadness. It's universal law. Like people come to us only when we have something, money, when we are happy, when we smile. They keep coming to us. But when we are crying, very less people come and say hello, and that is why we need that. This is the reality. I mean, it doesn't differ wherever you are from, even you are from United States or Cambodia. No, we have to face the same thing. We have to face the same thing. That is why mentally being stronger is very important. So, but before the practice, you need to change your attitude. This is in page number 26, chapter number 4. It's about attitude before you practice. So 1. Have you ever heard the term auto-suggestion? Auto-suggestion.
Auto-suggestion.
Meditation is not about that. It's a technique in psychology. It's okay, you can use that. But it is bad, but you say it is good. Auto-suggestion. But in meditation, you see it as the really it is. If it is sad, it is sad. But you don't go beyond that. You don't react. It is sad. It is suffering. It is anger. You know that, and you don't react. So the mental no reaction is because there are two mental habits everyone of us have. One is like, another one is dislike. I mean, it's kind of rejection. When something bad, we try to reject. I'm talking about the mental habit. We reject people, it's okay. It doesn't mean that it not in a negative way, but we reject because we cannot remain, in the negative situation. But I'm talking about some mental. Even we reject that person, but physically when we reject, but we have to mentally reject. So we have to stop that rejection mentally. When you mentally reject, you suffer. Yeah. You might not stay with that person, it's okay, but must not be a mentally rejection. That's why in Bible you say, even you love your enemies. It said that about happiness, because when you keep rejecting, there is no forgiveness. There is, like, you reject, the discrimination, anger, hatred is there. That is why it's about mental habits. This clear? So that's first thing is, when you I will remind you, but I want to share with you, don't expect anything when you practice meditation. Like this in the page, because I explained you yesterday, if you expect something, there will be a result, okay, but if you have too much expectation, I want to be calm, I want to experience the concentration or the serenity of practice meditation, when you have that mentality, when it doesn't happen, what will you feel? Disappointed, suffering. So sometimes, to be honest, sometimes you will find the calmness, sometimes you will find a distraction, the mental distractions. You will experience both of them. Sometimes calmness, sometimes distraction. You will learn that. So we will learn. So that is why don't expect anything. Just sit. This is the quote. Let me. Just sit back and see what happens. Treat the whole things as an experiment. This is the good quote I like. Let the meditation move along at its own speed. The simile I give is the hot water. After being boiled and you put it down, you cannot be rushed. You cannot be hurry. You cannot expect as you want. Now, for example, you want to drink the water, but the water is hot. It needs time to cool down. Even you want it to cool down like within 5 minutes, it doesn't happen. So similarly, it's the nature of the mind. And similarly, some issues in life is like that. You need time to solve. That is why we call patience is called like buying the time. Sometimes you need time. Some issues in life need time. You cannot be hurried. That is why we practice that. The patience, let it flow as the way it is. I am observing it. Okay, it's one thing. And don't strain. Second, don't strain. Don't strain. Don't strain. Don't force anything or make grand exaggerated efforts. Meditation is not about like this. No, it's just, I told it's relaxation, but you have to sit very relaxed. Okay, no force, because some people they force. Okay, I want. It's not like yoga. Have you ever practiced yoga?
Yes.
The pranayama. There's many techniques. No, so it's pranayama. So meditation is not about that. It's not no controlling, no manipulation. Just let it flow, and you are the observer. It's clear. So no force. Like I'm talking about exaggerated effort, or we can say meditation is not aggressive. You can't be aggressive. If you are aggressive, I want to be calm. You are not doing meditation. Okay. So third, don't rush. Okay, don't rush. There is no hurry, so take your time. And the fourth one, don't cling to anything and don't reject anything. Like let come what comes, and accommodate yourself to that, wherever it is. If good mental images arise, that is fine. If bad mental images arise, that is fine too. It's about when you sit meditation, that is, I told you, there is misunderstanding that when you sit you are blanking your mind, you don't think anything. No, it's not about that. When you sit, when you observe your breath, distraction will come. It can be good thoughts or bad thoughts, they keep arising. So what you do is, you are the observer. Like you sit, you are looking from the distance, no reaction, just understand that okay, they arise, it is bad thoughts, it's a bad story, okay. So you are training your mind being alone. That is the secret of the real happiness. I told you, the real happiness is to be created when you are alone, not when you are with someone.
To be created?
Yeah, the happiness you have to create within. Yeah. Okay. So then again, 5, letting go, just let it go. The 6, accept everything. There is yeah, some people said you have to accept the shit. No, it's not about that. No, it's about the reality, you know. Understanding that is the shit, and you don't react. It doesn't mean you have to accept everything and being with them. Okay, yeah. So accept your feelings, even and here why we use the word accept, because it is you. It is your mind, it is your feelings, it is your thoughts. If you are reacting yourself. This clear? If you are rejecting, you are rejecting your own thoughts and feeling. It is you. Like the thought is yours, even it is negative, but it is yours. So you have to accept it. We learn to accept. This is the practice. Okay, then be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't blame yourself. Why I cannot focus? Why what I'm doing? Like I'm a bad person? No. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. You may not be perfect, but you are all you have got to work with. The process of becoming who you will be begins first with the total acceptance of who you are. So be kind means you have to accept yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is me. It's kind of, forgive yourself if in the past you might have done some mistakes, committed some sins or offenses, but we have to forgive ourselves and be kind to us. This is me, what to do, that because people can't forgive themselves. I have done something wrong to him, to this, like I'm saying that you can go and say sorry, but after saying sorry you have to stop being worried, this is just being be kind to yourself. And then investigate yourself. So it's a kind of investigation. You are the scientist. You are doing an experiment, studying about your own self. Okay, so yeah, that's all. And if you have any question, and I suggest you to go and read again the book before we practice. Yeah. Any questions about meditation?
There's impermanent suffering and no self. Can we go over no self a little bit?
Okay.
It sounds simple, but
yeah,
I want to just discuss it.
As I told you yesterday, it's a profound philosophy, non-self in Buddhism, because the purpose is to remove the I am, and my soul, because these are the view. One reason is keep you remain in the circle of life.
That's right.
Yeah, it's one reason. Another one reason is the more I-ness you have, the more sadness and frustration, because the expectation is come from that. I must be treated in a proper way. I must be loved. I must be provided this, because when you have too much I, you will suffer more. That is the reason. But these three are interconnected. If everything is impermanent, okay, it's not just permanent, impermanent. The three are interconnected. If everything is impermanent, it is suffering. If it is impermanent and suffering, it is non-self. It is not mine. And then what you do? You try to find a way to find something that it is permanent, that is happiness, that is yourself, your own one. That is why we call it nirvana. So because external forces is impermanent, they are not eternal. You have to find something that eternal for yourself. Okay, it's clear. So to morning we can a little bit harder to practice, but I will teach you the walking meditation. But before practicing, I want to show you what will you do during meditation. Okay. When we walk, this is the way we walk. So here we are looking at this. It's clear? If it is you, and this is the way you walk, you are observing the way you walk. Okay? You are just the observer, what I'm saying. That's why we call mindful. And when it comes to the breath, we are observe the breath. If it is the breath, you observe the breath. And the simile is like a cat. Like a cat, look at the whole of the breath. You are observing when the breath comes out, when the breath goes in. It's clear? I just want to remind your role. Your role is the observer. Your role is the observer. So when we walk in the same way, you have to observe the touching sensation. You have to feel the touching sensation between your feet and the floor. This is the first step. This is the first step. And you are cultivating mindfulness and concentration and tolerance. Because let me say this, because our mind is like a monkey. And at the beginning, when you try to observe this touching sensation, your mind will begin to wander. It's like a monkey. When we try to tame him at the beginning, does he obey us or not? No. It takes time. It takes training. That is why I told you, patience. Our mind is like a monkey. And you can ask yourself, how long have I ever been just don't care about my own mind? If I am in 30s, if I don't practice meditation, it's mean 30 years. I do nothing with my mind. I let it, wander whatever. I let it do whatever he or she wants to do. So when you train your mind at the beginning, you will experience that. It's harder. You will find it's harder. Okay? It's clear. So what I want to remind you is, you are just the observer. Observer as the way it is. Okay? Not as the way you want. It is clear? Okay? So we will discuss again, and I think we can start now. We can have a break, and we will start practicing walking meditation. And before that, you have any question? No question.
Will we walk for a half hour?
No. I will teach you. Maybe we walk. I will teach you the technique, and you can walk by yourself. Yeah. Have you ever practiced meditation?
Yes.
Really?
too hard and got frustrated.
She practiced before? No. Yeah, any question?
So the schedule said we have rest and reading now, but this is different today.
Different, I told you because
Because
today I want to spend more time with you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and tomorrow I am leaving. Yeah, but I will come back at
we
night.
have to do this on our own.
Yeah. So what time now? Okay, we have